This week on Jaywalking, I'm joined by the very funny
Jamie Pappas.
What about the Amelie?
Jamie Amalia Pappas.
Jamie Amalia Pappas. Pappas.
Jamie Pappas is here.
Jamie Pappas is here. Have you heard about her? She's great. I've seen her on that TikTok. This week on Jaywalking, we have Jamie Pappas, amazing Philly comedian and Philly sports aficionado, and just an amazing human. We have a great conversation. If you like comedy, great. If you don't, then get lost. See you next week. Well, Jamie, I'm so glad I have in the house Jamie Pappas. It's Pappas, right? I wanted to say
Pappas.
Pappas.
Everyone else says Pappas.
Because it's two P's, so as the language nerd I am, it should deaden the first syllable.
Yeah, but I'm telling you it's not.
But that's fine. That's fine. No,
I'm going to deaden this conversation.
It's your name.
Yeah, well, so I've said Pappas my whole life. Everyone in my family, it's Pappas. But I had an art teacher in second grade tell me that exactly what you're telling me. And he was like, no, it's Pappas. And I was like, it's Pappas because I said it's Pappas.
That's right. And that's exactly how it should be.
I've taken this clip from Andrew Santino's podcast.
Yeah.
He interviews Giannis Pappas. And he says, where can the people find you? And he goes, GiannisPappas.com. They can find me at GiannisPappas.com. And without skipping a beat, Santino goes, you heard it here first, GiannisPappas.com, and says it twice. And I clipped that to send to someone just about the naming. And I was like, but Pappas.
But that's exactly. I've been called Yoder my whole life because I lived nowhere near Lancaster until now. And now I come down here and everybody pronounces it properly, and it's so nice. But like I
don't know why in Lancaster is Yoder. People know that?
It's like the Smith of the Amish. It's like the most common. It's like Yoder, Stoltzfus, and Moyer are like your top three Amish last names.
Okay.
I get asked if I'm Amish at least once a week.
What's the answer?
The answer is I have no freaking idea. I know there's a Yoder. I think my family comes from Germanic roots, so maybe some great-grandfather went on
Wait,
Rumspringa.
so how do people pronounce it? Yoder?
Well, so incorrectly, people would always say Yoder.
Yeah.
Or they would get or hosts when they're...
But I feel like that is a similar, like the vowel thing, like...
It
doesn't make sense.
It should be a longer. You're right. It should be Yoder.
Right.
And I have to tell them it's like I usually say to the host, it's like the guy from Star Wars, but with a hard R. Mm-hmm. So instead of Yoda,
they just call you the N word.
Yeah, they just call me the N word, and then it's an urban show, so it's okay. They can say it. I can't.
Yoder. That's funny.
Yeah, that's good. Well, now we know. Now it's out there. Pappas. Yoder. Look at that. We should start our own podcast.
That's it. Just explaining names.
Just explaining names. What names? I mean, that's one of my favorite bits that I was watching of your reels was the one where you're like, I'm dating and I'm 32. And so basically I found out that there's actually grown men out there named Braden. And I'm like, that's hysterical because I just never, I just see the names of the kids that I've been teaching the last 20 years. And there's definitely a shift of there's going to be some 70-year-old Bradens out there.
And they're just, it seems silly, but any name is silly. It's all made up, which is why I like the joke, because at some point, where Michael was made up, and, just because it's historic, people stick to it. I'm like, it's still silly, and it's still just letters put together.
We have like three in my family, and then it's just everybody either calling themselves MW or NP or the one.
That's something I don't get. And then so I was named after my dad, and I will never understand naming kids after someone, especially someone that's dead. And this is a bit I'm trying to work out where I'm like, if my mom was going to name me after a dead white guy, she could have picked anybody. So I was trying to figure out like who she could have picked.
Yeah.
That would have been, because, when someone dies, people only like say really good things about them. Like, oh, like if you were named after your Uncle Michael or something. I was like, I want someone to, I have done this bit on stage where I'm like, I just want someone to like, be an asshole, and then I'll feel like tell me my dad was an asshole, and then I'm like, oh, like I feel related now, because everyone always tells you these fluffy stories if you're named after someone.
Well, that's it. You just become a teacher, and then you're like all of the names that you're able to use go down the drain.
Oh, I was a nanny, and just even being on the playground, like some of the kids I nannied for had some of the most popular names, and I would say their names on the playground, and 4 kids would come up to me, and I'd be like, no, the other one.
No, yeah, and that's what we did with our kids, because like even my oldest, at least, I came up with Elysia, which is Elysia, which was the heaven of the underworld in Roman mythology, and so that was like cute and poetic, and it came right away. And then we used like grandma names for like the middle, like my mom's,
yeah.
you know, and then my young.
That's really funny if her middle name was actually just grandmom name.
Yeah, just
One word.
just grandma name, no hyphen. And then my second, we couldn't think of names, so we played, and it was like a dating app, but for baby names. And if my wife and I both liked and swiped on it, it would put it in the bucket. And we still didn't pick one of those. We ended up just going Katie. Well, Caitlin. But we call her Katie. We tried Cinnamon with an S for a while.
Yeah.
We wrote it on the whiteboard in the hospital, and the doctor didn't even blink an eye. Like, we thought it would be funny. And he's just like, no, man, you'd be surprised.
He's like, yeah, you can ruin it. He's like, I just get the baby here safely.
Yeah,
you can ruin it however you want.
It's up to you. We give you 3 days, and then after that, you're on your own. Yeah, and that, you know, so I don't know. I think naming is so important. And pronouncing. I used to read the names for graduation, and like it would be the same last name. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen this, an Asian name. It's like Nguye, Nguyen and Nguyen. And it depended on the kid. And so I'm like, you know, hey, it's your show. And some kids would be like, oh, would you say whatever? I'm like, well, no, you're gonna have a parent in the stands or someone who gave you that name that's gonna be like, they're waiting for those 2 seconds. And it better be right for them. So I'd make them like voice the ones that were hard.
Did you play with having a stage name?
I do have a stage name.
Because
Jay is not my first name.
Right. I assume that, but like as something further. I assume it's close to your real name.
It is close. Because and all I did was I was at the open mic the first day, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll just put my first initial down. Because I didn't want to, I was like, oh, I teach
here. Do you say what your first name is on the pod?
I have. My government name is Jonathan.
Whoa.
I know. Jonathan Allen Yoder, which my initials are J.
Okay.
And whenever I moved a lot, so anytime we moved, I tried to reinvent myself.
Did you go by J?
I tried so hard at never. Because the backpack, you know, back in the day, you had the backpack with the initials on it.
Yeah.
So it said J. So I was like, oh, call me J.
Yeah.
Didn't catch on till I was like
but
38.
Loser stuck.
38 years old now.
38.
Yeah. Well, now I'm 42 or 43. But when I first started doing comedy,
but were you going by John or Jonathan?
Previously, usually my last name, but I preferred John over Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan's a lot.
Yeah, it's extra. I don't know what my mom's said. My name's Jonathan Allen. My mom was Mary Ellen, so she wanted the middle name to match, so it's Allan to match hers, which is.
I wish you were Jonathan Ellen.
I know. I wish I was Jonathan Ellen. I think that would be.
Yeah, that would have been a power
nice
move.
rank. But then I'd still be J. It'd be just Jey.
Yeah.
I'd really mess some people up. I'd have to buy an extra domain.
I was going to say your life would be different right now.
Yeah, because now on my website, I have to have a letter J Yoder comedy, and I have to have a Jay.
I mean, I run a show, and I always ask people to pronounce their names for me, or if they use a stage name. People get annoyed that my Instagram is my full government, Jamie Amalia Pappas.
Yeah.
That's my name. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why it's so stressful for everyone else. Jamie Amalia, I've had friends just be like, "You're my phone is Jamie la la la," and I'm like, okay, Megan with an H.
That's what I told my daughter or anybody else who has a name like that. You're gonna know the people who care because they're gonna take the time to pronounce the name, learn the name, and if they don't, they're giving you a gift by letting you know up front. Hey,
they're an insecure idiot.
Don't invest too much in our friendship because clearly I'm not.
Well, Kirsten, who I do my pod with and work with a lot, and is one of my close friends, I watch people butcher both our names up, right, left, sideways any day. Because
she's Kirsten, and it probably gets Kristen a ton.
So funny, though. We were on a show recently, and the host was checking her name, and then goes up, Kirsten Michelle Sills, messes up Sills.
Does it without the S?
I don't know what.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know what, but it was to a point that they did it. We both because people get so worried, and the person was so sweet and trying so hard, and they were so focused on the first name that they,
didn't even. That happens all the time, and I would even if I had there would be 400 kids in a graduating class, and you would have their first name, their middle name, their confirmation name if they were Christian, and then their last name.
Yeah,
and you're right. I would see a Gabriel and a Gabrielle right after each other.
You're like, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up.
I would mess it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, and you'd only get 3 rounds to practice. They only do 3 rehearsals, and then it's showtime. And then what if they
Do you
switch
have that in
places?
general comedy stuff though? When you're overthinking something, you mess up the.
Oh my God. I had for the longest time, I've been doing this bit about this trip I took to Europe, and a kid, I was just begging them to like tell me something educational they learned. And they're like, well, we went to that one place where Leonardo DiCaprio was buried. And like, I'm like Da Vinci, but I kept messing up in the punchline later on, I would say the wrong name first. For the longest time, I
Dang.
would go, and it would just be like, I built this whole scene for this moment, and I swapped the names. I was doing it for the longest time when I first started saying it, and yeah, it really made me mad because I was like, man, it's a good joke, but if you mess that up, it does not matter.
Yeah, especially when you're lost in the sauce is something you do all the time, and then you say you're like, wait, did I set it up right?
Exactly. Did I say
and then
that
you
word?
don't know till you're at the end of the joke, and then you say the punchline, and you're like, oh, that would have worked if I set it up correct 7 minminutes ago.
I love how vulnerable you are with posting like the crowd work clips of like when things are like awkward.
Yeah.
Like I love that because there was one a while back you'd post, but I saw one recently where you just like let the woman hang herself about being unfaithful or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was so great because you're so comfortable, and I'm sure it took a while, but you're so comfortable being uncomfortable that now.
I have bad news.
Oh, it's that.
Been that since day one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not
mean-
even comedy, just in life.
Yeah. You're just like, which is great.
My mom taught me a lesson pretty early in life where she said, let other people dig their grave. And she said basically like, let them go to like, if they're going to go 6 feet under, like let them get to 5'10" and then you push the last 2 inches.
That's so great.
Because she said something like, because when I was younger, people put their foot in their mouth around me all the time because my dad passed away. So that my mom, meets my stepdad when I'm like 6 or 7. I have a 10-year age gap between my little sister because of that. So people would say things like, asking just really inappropriate questions. Oh, age gap, like starting over, like stuff to my mom, all that. And then I always have to be the one that's like, and my dad's dead. Like the people are like either saying divorce or whatever they're saying. So many times my mom would just be like, let people do their like, let them. You don't have to bring them to the awkward moment because then you look mean or like you're dragging them in.
That's so. I mean, you're right. That's because like
if someone's doing something bad, everyone else can see it.
Yeah, that's true. And you just let them talk because I think I let people write their own narratives of what they were seeing. Like, I'm living with 2 women. We never said my mom's were gay. It's like, so I guess a lot of times, and I would stir it. I'd be like, oh, just her sister. That's her sister.
Right.
Or her sister through marriage, or because she had an Australian accent. So there's no way they were sisters. But like, just whatever.
Her evil twin that had a stroke and now has an accent.
Letting them figure it out. And then when we would move somewhere, I'd update the dossier like we were in witness protection.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to go by Jay. You're still going to be that, but you're going to be now my aunt. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
ready, action.
And then, all right, we're going to be in the producile. My old gym teacher's going to come up. What are we going to say? Like, I was like, we didn't have like a war room. We had like a situation closet.
Yeah.
It's like a bit I'm trying to work on how like, it was like the don't ask, don't tell wasn't just a military thing. It was our family motto at the time we moved.
Yeah, it was a dinner topic.
Yeah, it was like, we had a situation closet that we didn't come out of it. We emerged cautiously, like looking at it.
I've seen I've just like, I never want to be a hot-headed person. Like I definitely snap quickly. But when something like with the crowd work or when someone's acting like an absolute insane person.
Yeah.
They're going to walk themselves out quite like literally and figuratively by what they're saying. Like that woman even said, I like just stared at her at one point and I said, what happened earlier? And she goes, I'm not supposed to be talking. And I was like, so this person's like a full sociopath.
Yes,
like,
they totally knew the mores or the customs of the situation. And 2 White Claws later, it's like the name's like the person with the name.
Actually,
like,
she was drinking vodka from a big gulp just to clear it up. Yeah. So people have said, so I nannied for a long time. So people also say the way I handle crowds is they were like, oh, I would love to see you be a teacher or something. I was like, when you deal with children, I have extreme patience for children, no patience for adults.
Yeah.
And my mom would always like say, she's like, you can be so patient here. Why can't you bring it to that situation? I'm like, because kids don't know better.
Yeah.
Like when you're dealing with an adult that absolutely knows better, I get a lot more angry more quickly. Like
with time comes wisdom, you would think.
Well, a lot of times, I post jokes, but I also post some of the crowd work because it also advertised my show because I run a weekly show. So it advertises the show, but it also like allows this flexibility of people can see how I'm going to be on stage. Like recently I had a friend who's doing really well on social media in kind of a different vein, not stand up. And she was saying, you should cut out, like, some of my videos, she was like, you should cut out the space or like cut out dead air or pauses. He said, I understand that trajectory. Like, that's good for the algorithm. For myself and my performance and my style, I don't want someone that's expecting like quick hit me nonstop for 60 seconds.
Yes.
That's not what they're going to get on stage. So if they're expecting me to be like, blah, 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 like, that's not how I am. So and then she, pivoted. She was like, oh, I get that. Slow roll will be better. I was like, if I skyrocketed to 1 million followers based off of clips
then you'd have to
that
feel
weren't
like
how I perform,
exactly. 100%.
then that crowd's not going to come watch me over and over again. They're going to come see me and be like, well, she was funnier on TikTok.
Yes.
So I'm trying to stick to my guns of how I perform.
I was actually going to ask you a little bit about social media because I curate a lot myself, and I'm trying to learn from these people that I've worked with that have the millions of followers. And you're right. Like, that's exactly the sentiment I felt, where it's like, well, I want to show a carousel of the facets of me,
right?
But like everybody's like, no, pound a niche, and I really like because even some of your posts where you're like, hey, girlies, and you pretend to be like the Facebook post person or the couples leaving the suburbs, and it's like these very long, beautifully like put together rants that are just and it's them hanging themselves, it's them being that person of like as time goes on, or like the person who's asking about the real ID, and then it's really just about the single guy that she's going to, that she's with, and then, hey, you can, and then it ends at the end, and maybe you can come over and we'll see where it goes from there. You buy my lightly vodka and vom was the line that I thought was so funny. But it's like, so, I mean, to the naked eye, I think people go through and it comes up like, oh, she's just spitting this out, where it's like, you could tell there's just so carefully crafted stuff in there.
Thank you. Someone commented saying, I feel like you try really hard on these videos, and I just said back, is that supposed to be an insult?
Yeah.
I was like, it would be way weirder if I just picked up my phone and was like, blah, 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 and expected it to work. Yeah.
100%. Because that's the behind the scenes action of it, but it's just so fun. And it's cool to present, like, because you're almost being some of the things you're talking about in your act. You know what I mean? So it's like a fun little.
The first one I did was purely out of anger. Like, I wasn't doing front-facing videos for a while because of the type of audience I wanted to come out to see me. I was like, you know what? The algorithm will push out my stand-up one day, and it just doesn't. So I flipped to the one day I had just gotten like a barrage of, like, I feel like influencers complaining about Philly while being here and saying things like, the first one that I did that got some views was where I'm like, oh, did you guys know Philly doesn't completely suck? Because that's what it feels like. These influencers come here who have never been here because they've never read a book or anything. And like, this is no shade, like, on influencers. Like, get your money. Like, do whatever works right now. Everyone should make money however they can right now, as long as you're not hurting other people.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do. But the negativity fuels. So they always go, oh my God, didn't you, like, Philly is supposed to be so dirty and all this stuff. Did you know they have buildings and lights? Like, they act like.
Well, cause that's it. Because it's like almost the rage bait concept of things. Like, you're just trying to get people to be pissed at you, People who don't know you or don't want to understand you will get in the comments and be pissed. And then your followers will get in the comments and defend your honor.
Right.
And thus the trolls are working and the algorithm's spinning. Yeah. And the game of it is so dirty. Like, as it's
exhausting.
I set a goal, like, so, because I started so much later. Like, when I started super intentionally. Like, my first year was just like, hey, 100 open mics. Get 100 open mics in. And that was during the pandemic, so that was a feat for not to be Zoom mics. But then, like, year 3 was like, all right, social media. So I started a TikTok. I started a YouTube channel. I tried to make them all have the same handle. And then I just tried to do all of that, but it's so consuming. And then, to your point, like, I don't want to mislead to, like, what people would get with me. So it's like, it is. I see some of the people I know I follow that are educator influencers, and I'm just like, I see what they're doing to feed the algorithm, and I'm like, I have to have some level of integrity that says, okay, I'm
Right.
not just going to do that. Or sometimes I was doing memes a lot that were working well.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I just try to, only if something strikes me and is like super obvious. Like I just did one the other day of Trump being booed at the NFL game.
Yeah.
And it was just, and he just kept reading, and it was like, oh, that's like the substitute teacher who has like the phys ed classes, and they're just powering through the sub notes to say, I read the notes.
Right. And the kids are already throwing dodgeballs at each other.
Just crazy. So I was like, if something strikes me in the moment, then I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But I didn't want to become a meme account. But I was getting millions of views off some of them right away. And a buddy of mine who's like, hey, be careful. You'll become
the
a
devil.
meme account.
Yeah. Because that's what I sometimes now feel like, oh, I became the villain. Like I lived long enough to see myself become the villain because I'm making these videos. But I will say they are authentic to me and my beliefs, but they are not my stand-up. They're not the craft I want to be known for. So I'm grateful for this, but I will say I get recognized frequently now, a couple times a week. Someone being like, do you do TikTok? And I always go, actually, I do stand-up. Because there are two different beasts of like, yes, I do the TikTok to facilitate the stand-up.
That's right.
The ability to perform. And it's not, again, not dismissing people that do TikTok specifically and are successful on that. But chicken or the egg, my stand-up always first and foremost. Because there were so many times where I see stand-ups where we know them from TikTok, but they've been working the clubs for years and years and years.
Yeah.
But so I'm just would rather go slow in terms of social media growth to have an audience that will actually show up at seats. Because I don't want to be the person that has, I mean, I would kill to have 5 million followers.
But then not fill a 200-seat theater.
Right. To have 5 million followers and then not have. But I will say the hardest thing to do, no matter who you are, is get people off their couch.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
it's so much easier.
Everyone's like, oh, I see your TikToks. I'm like, great, I have a show every Friday. It's BYO. It's accessible by all. Like, it's ADA compliant. I'm like, you can take the bus, the subway. You can park here. Like, you could walk. Like, you could do anything. You don't have to drink. Like, there's no minimum. I literally will do ticket discounts if you could, like anything. I just want you here.
That's right. I'm going to be there this Friday.
Oh yeah, I won't be.
Let's share the deets because this will come out before then.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, it's coming
out.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's quick turnaround, team. Philly Typewriter, which is a typewriter shop, actually, not a drug front. Everyone. So Philly Typewriter, it's awesome because they want to have more community events. They're on East Passyunk, which is a busy neighborhood. But the events are far and few between, and it's growing a lot. Great. So for a year now, we've been doing just about a year now, every Friday, BYOB show, doors 7:30, show at 8. Couple comedians, people travel in for it. Small room, like 30 people or less, seats. You can touch any of the typewriters.
You can touch them?
Yeah, they have them out. Tom Hanks donated a typewriter there. What? They have a ton of typewriters. It's awesome. I'm biased because I run it, great. But it's just like a nice, intimate space to do something different. You know, be in a different Philly neighborhood if you don't live in the area, or if you do live in the area, we do monthly passes if you live in the area.
That's great.
I try to just get a bunch of different comedians. Like I have a regular submission form. I never wanted the lineups to look like the same couple of people every week because I don't. Particularly, like when I go, I challenge myself to do new material every week, and I want the same people.
You want people to revisit.
Like I'll throw in 2 or 3 jokes I've been doing just to keep the tempo or it going. But lately, I've been opening the show. I haven't been booking hosts, so I'll do 15, 20 minutes up top. But most of it's just getting the audience comfortable.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is where some of those crowd work clips are from me. The energy, because I tell people I'm like. This room is small. Go to the bathroom if you need. Step out if you need. Anything to make yourself comfortable in the space. Yeah, so you're coming in to headline.
I'm excited to be there. So Philly Typewriter, and we're going to be there Friday.
Every
Playtime
Friday.
Comedy.
Yeah.
I'm down. Friday. I'm excited. I was pumped, so I'm sad you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
But I have that same feeling because I do a lot, obviously, at Joel's. And so even when
Shout
I go
out
to
Joel.
Sound of Soul Joel's. Even when I go to Tuesday, I'll drop in for the open mic.
Yeah.
But I intentionally do different material every week. But I'm also advertising because I help with the comedy school there. So it's like, so that also goes to some of these comics to be like, oh, okay, I see some of that material. I like what he's doing there. I trust him. So it's part of it for me too as an advertisement.
And watching you, someone who has a following and does tour and do all these things, still try new jokes. As a new comedian, I would be like, oh, wow, he's still trying.
Yeah, exactly. I would never, like, I mean, that's the thing I was doing, because half the time I'm just writing the stuff my daughters say. Like, I like the other day.
Is that why you had kids?
That's exactly why I had kids. Yeah, and actually, it was so bad. Imagine, yeah, right. It would be so funny, but because I was so reversed, like my wife and kids were thrown into this life that they didn't ask for. Because even when I started stand up, my youngest was like, I guess 4. She's 9 now. And so, like, you know, my oldest daughter, I joke a lot about because I like to talk about
her
stuff. Better? I love her better. I do. No, Katie, actually, my younger daughter came on and did a full episode with me.
Katie, the one you didn't care to name.
Yeah, don't tell her. They watch this. But no, Alicia, I love talking about Alicia because she has autism, and I love talking about things that I was uncomfortable with mentioning. I was always uncomfortable telling about my family growing up and all that. And I didn't want that to be the case anymore. Right. And I love that I get to meet people after the show that are like, oh, I was just like your daughter, or I have a son who's just like your daughter. And we named him Mike, and it's really unfortunate. But like, I love that aspect. Like even the other day, Katie, so my normal one, so
the one you like less because she provides you less material. Yeah.
She hit struck gold because she plays Roblox, but I make her play in the family room so we can like hear her, and it's just interesting watching your
she doesn't get bullied online.
Yeah, exactly. or she's bullying them.
Yeah, she's got an empire on Roblox.
Right, and she's like, oh, it's time for the cows to breed. I'm like, you never, being a parent's like a pop quiz for life that you never studied for, and now you're not ready for it. Yeah. And I just was like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, well, they're having a baby. I'm like, well, how do they do that? And she's like, oh, well, one cow eats wheat, and then the other cow eats wheat, and then they have a baby.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. All right. Well, for the record, you're gluten-free till marriage.
Yeah. That's good.
I was like, there's no coincidence that celiac and celibate start with the same letters. So I was like, oh, that's funny. So now it's like, I have the end, and now I'm trying to get into like building up the beginning of awkward conversations that you end up.
Totally. When I was a nanny, on top of having the awkward conversations, I didn't know how the parents would answer every question. So sometimes it'd be out with a kid. And I remember we were walking one day, and one of them asked me, we were passing an unhoused person, and they said, why do some people sleep on the ground? Great question. Great question. But where do I start with a 6-year-old? Great question.
They really like camping.
Yeah. And I was like, you should try it. No, my brain went, do I just pitch this to like, oh, mom and dad? Because I don't want to shame that person. Because I didn't want her to think it was a weird thing she couldn't talk about.
Exactly.
So I went with kind of like a luck thing, like choices and luck. Like not everybody's parents like can have a job that makes enough money. Like how's it like I started explaining like expenses. Okay. And then I got too deep and I lost her because it is like so tricky to so many things. Like, and every day you get a new question where you're like, how should I say this? This one just happened with my niece, who's entirely offline child. And my sister's not online, so I feel comfortable saying this.
That's good.
My niece was, I don't get to see her a lot. They don't live in the same city. And she was getting changed. And I realized I didn't know what my sister calls underwear. Because some people call anything. I was like, everybody calls things different. And I didn't want to say a word that she would get stuck on. But again, back to our conversation of, when you say don't say the weird thing and then you say it. So she was like going to pull on underwear. And I was like, shoot, I don't want to say underwear if that's not what they're saying. I don't want to say panties if that's not what they're saying. And I started panic. Me, who's taking care of kids my whole life, started panic. So I was like trying to think of what underwear is like on a kid or like what it feels like. And all I could picture was putting on a glove, like the way she was doing it. Yeah. So I called it a tush glove.
A tush glove.
I was like, underwear is just like a glove for your tush. So I said that, and she thought it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. Then we're both laughing about tush glove. So, it's a little kid moment, whatever. Fast forward a couple months.
She's still using it.
My sister texts me a picture of an outfit that I got for her. And she says, "Oh, TT Jamie got you this outfit." And she said, "Yep, we're putting it on." And she said, "Remember when TT Jamie said douche glove?"
That's great. But that's like the core. I have two that I've been trying to work on that I haven't put in yet. Like my daughter, thought I was putting her to bed, and I'm like doing the slip away, like I think she's asleep, and I get out to the door, and she's just like, "Why can't I see God?" Like and my first inclination was to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I took like these philosophy classes in college, and I'm just like, well, deities are ubiquitous force that at times are incongruent with our current state of reality, and then luckily she was just asleep by the time I finished the phrase, so it was like, oh, that's funny, or like I started like jokifying it a little bit, and then she's like, I'm like, I don't know, it's like Santa, baby. He's like,
right,
or I'm like, he can see you all the time. And she's like Santa. I'm like, oh great, I just started a debate on surveillance culture with my 8-year-old,
right. And you're like, how many men do I have to tell her just stare at her from above?
That's good. And she's like, well, Uncle Ricky said he talked to God once. I'm like, yeah, that was at Burning Man, and he had a lot of mushrooms. She's like, well, I'm not eating my vegetables. I'm like, that's good, baby. But like just playing with like this world of like, what would she say? And I love like my older daughter, I'll do these videos on TikTok that people, it's funny because people say they love it, but I'm not seeing the
finish
engagement.
The quotes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so
I watch them. I don't like them.
I know.
I don't engage with anything. No. I do like those.
But like people I get people stop me all the time saying how much they love them. And so I'm like, oh, it's fun because I love having her finish the phrase. And now I'm like all these nostalgia. And it's actually worked its way into my teacher show act, because I usually now, if I have a longer set or if I'm doing like a 90-minute thing, I'll call up a retired teacher and a first-year teacher, and then now I'll use the phrases from the other's generation to see them stump her. And like it's been fun to see how these fun moments that are just life moments that are funny, like then, oh, can I translate this to the stage? Can this? Because for me, it's ultimately I want it to be a stand-up act. I don't want it to just be a TikTok video. But I'm going to use it as a premise. I'm going to use it as like a floater, because if people interact or watch it, maybe sometimes it's a certain demographic. And I'm like, oh, this is really resonating with X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And or people will start commenting. And then you're like, oh, now I'm getting the info of what's in their head so that I can breadcrumb it a little bit in the beginning to, if I'm trying to reinforce that or not.
I think it's huge for the demographic of adults that are raising kids who didn't know they had traumatic childhoods. Like that's your sweet spot right now.
That's my sweet spot. That is it.
Is people hearing it, they're like, wait, your mom didn't beat this?
Yeah, she didn't do that? That's crazy. I was joking. I'm like, I didn't even know other people didn't have two moms until the yo mama jokes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I do that about having a dead dad. I'm like, because I never met my dad, and people would like pity, like whatever. Yeah. I'm like, your dads don't do anything. Like, I don't, like, there were so many people, especially like growing up, like late 90s, like, I was like, no one has ever pitched a good idea of a dad for me. Like, no one has ever like said anything that made me feel like I was missing out, ever.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, no one has ever. I always say, like, still to this day, because now you meet more like friends as adults and you hear about their relationship with their dads. I'm like, God, consider myself lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it is a weird position to be in, because people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then they'll talk about what their dad did, and I'm like, "Oof, I'll take a heart attack over that." Yeah,
like, are you okay? And then by the end of there's like, "No, are you okay?"
Yeah, terrible. I've had some people just straight up be like, "Oh, I wish my dad were dead," and I can't even be like, "No, you don't," because
yeah, I didn't have a huge relationship with my dad growing up, because he was going on his own journey of
avoiding you,
of avoiding me. Yeah, and I've talked about it on the pod before, but like he got a second wife for a while after my parent. Like, I'm the lone souvenir of the night my parents played hetero, and then they kind of did their. My mom was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gay." Yeah. My dad's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to the Chick-fil-A camp for a little while."
Yeah.
And now he's married to a guy in Spain for the last 25 years, and they have a great marriage. And so now we've reconnected since then. But while he was kind of figuring himself out, that was more than he could handle.
Right.
So it was like, and I had two
Well, and
parents.
how do you parent when you don't know
When
yourself?
you know yourself. That's
Yeah.
right. You know, so it's like I'm grateful that I'm in a position that my biggest concern is explaining why
Is
my
your kids
daughter
being
can't
gay?
see. Yeah. Jury's still out. We got time. We're still wondering the gender first, and then we'll get to the sexuality. Come
Yeah,
on.
sorry to jump ahead.
Actually, it was funny. I did a show with Julia Scotti when I first started. It was a trans comic that was on AGT, and my mom came to the show.
AGT, it's funny the way you said that. It sounded like you were saying like a hormone.
Oh,
like a trans comic on AGT.
It's
like,
this
I was
hot
like,
new
is that-
Ozempic offshoot.
Yeah, I was like, is that a specific testosterone? I don't know.
It's just coming out. The
Sorry.
Pfizer's got it going on. But like, so I did the show with her. My mom was in the audience, and Julia started crowd working her, and it was like flirting almost. And then my mom,
You're like, great, now I'm going to have another mom.
I was like, yeah, exactly. I need one more mom. And then I go home, and my mom's like, so is she, into women? I'm like, Mom, can we go back to talking about Bitcoin? Because that was much more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? She's an L. She married my dad, who was a G, so made her a B. Never met a T. She never met a T. I thought they all hung out like Dave Chappelle's car bit, you know?
Yeah. Sounds like a Wawa order at that point. Like when they're putting it on the screen and you're like,
did
wait,
I
no, this is
select
my
that?
family.
Yeah, this is my family. Just throw it all in there.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out later.
Don't matter about the extra cost.
I know, right? But the Dead Dad Club I've heard is this like a cult thing? Like, do you have a group that you meet when you're like, we're all dead dad friends?
You know, it's more people from the outside wishing they could be in it. But
Any day now.
There's like a trope, especially with women in comedy, of like not having a dad or like
Or
no
daddy
dad
issues
figure.
or
Yes,
whatever.
daddy issues, or like people being promiscuous for like not having a dad or anything. And so whenever I meet someone that does have a dad, I'm like, what's your excuse? Right? You're labeling everybody else with daddy issues. I'm like, there's no bigger group with daddy issues than straight men.
That's true.
Like I've never
Hundo.
I'm like, I've never met someone that wants their dad more than a straight man.
That was like, I was so uncomfortable around men
Respectfully.
in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was thinking about asking you this too as I was preparing for tonight. Like, do you think a stand-up comedian
Needs a
just
dad?
be normal? Can be normal? Like, could they have just had a normal average life and still get up and do what we do?
No.
Okay.
I don't even because I don't even know what normal average is.
Yeah, you're
the
right.
desire to be a performer. I'm sure there are comedians out there that have parents that are loving, but that means the beast is within them. And I think the wiring, because I would say like I was about to be like, I know how to act around other people.
Yeah.
But the desire to go on stage is one thing. And I don't think it's always mental illness in whatever way you want.
Yeah.
But needing the validation of going on stage, like some people are amazing singers and don't perform.
Yeah.
Some people are amazing dancers. Some people are really, really funny and smart, but don't feel the need to get on stage.
Yep.
The needing to get on stage is definitely a brain wiring thing where that serves something. So if you grew up with two parents that loved you and gave you adequate attention and love and tough love and punishment and all the boundaries you needed, you might not need the outside validation. But I know plenty of people that had loving parents that are huge sluts. Like I know people. So, people want to criticize performers for like that, needing that external validation. Some people work really hard in their office job. So I think no one's like, we're at a point where no one's okay.
Yeah.
Not to get too dark.
I think that's super on point. Like,
Because then you meet someone you think is well adjusted and you're like, what's wrong with that?
That's why they say don't meet your heroes, because you're like
Yeah.
everybody's got a skeleton, because people are just people. Like, and I was thinking about that like this weekend. I probably was in the presence of the biggest celebrity I've ever been in the presence of, which I did.
You're welcome. We did do a show together.
We did do a show. Yeah. Stephanie Tanner from Full House.
Oh yes, you were on that show. It was awesome.
So it was her and then Christine Lake, and I was also a big Step by Step and Al. Like those, I mean, when I talk about crushes, like those two were legitimately crushes for me when I was like 12, 13. I waited in line at the Viewmont Mall.
Trying to go by Jay.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, I was trying to be so cool. So when I met Jodie Sweetin for the first time, she came to the local mall when I was 13. I waited in line with my buddy Dave and like my 2 little girl cousins.
Yeah. Pretending you were there for them.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, exactly. But then when I got up there, I'm like, I have my backwards hat on, and I'm like, all right, I got to be cool. Everybody's signing headshots. So I pulled my wallet out and I threw a $10 bill across the thing because I wanted her to know I could provide for her.
That's
you know
really
what I'm
nice
saying?
of you. And $10 was a lot back then.
That's what I'm saying. So like she signed it, and then so I told the thing on stage at the show, and I'm like, oh, Judy Sweeten here. I'm like, I'm nervous. I don't know if she'll remember me, but I met her. And then after I told him about the 10, then I reached in my wallet, and I'm like, and no, actually, it was the only $10 bill my mom gave me, and we were going to watch Independence Day after. So I actually had to end up using it.
That's so funny.
And I was going to tell her, but I thought she'd be like, how rude, like this. It was like I was trying to sell a $10 bill for $8, but that $10 got me the movie pass, it got me popcorn, it got me a drink.
I mean, it did a lot for you.
But now I had a $100 bill in my wallet all weekend, and I didn't get the guts to ask her to sign the $100 bill because I was
that would
too
have been
nervous.
a big swing. Yeah, that would have been a big swing.
I was too nervous. I told her this. The only one-on-one moment I had with her was at the after party on the first night.
Yeah,
and like everybody, we were just at the table, and I said, "Hey, I don't know if you heard." I told this story up front. She's like, oh, no, I was still in the green room, but somebody mentioned. And I was like, yeah. And I told her the story. And then I got her on the line where I was like, I wanted to show you I could provide for you. And she liked that line. But then after I told her about the selling it at her, she didn't like that part.
Yeah.
And then somebody swooped in to like FaceTime a friend. Like she was getting bombarded by people.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, great. I wasted this one time. But you put these people on a pedestal. But what I realized after the weekend is they're just normal people. Everybody's just a normal person.
Yeah.
They have their baggage. So even this person I had on this pedestal since I was 12 was demystified after the second night because I watched how gracious she was to like let people come up and take photos and do all the crazy stuff. And I'm like, you know what? She's probably been through a lot too, just
she has publicly been through a very lot. Yeah, I mean, I have become friendly or like have worked previously in different capacities with like professional athletes.
Yeah.
And I've seen grown men just like melt over seeing another grown man. And, whatever, to that point, whatever you need to get by in your life. Like if sports make you really happy and like idolizing that makes you really happy to a point. I think because of social media, it's gotten too far where people think they know a person or anything. Like before it used to be like
the word of the parasocial relationship or whatever.
So before it'd be like, oh, I love Mike Schmidt. He's my favorite baseball player. Yeah. End of the sentence. Now it's like, Bryce Harper's my favorite player. I make the same coffee he makes. I know where his wife and kids are. Like you just know, like I know they spend their time here, here, and here. And you're like,
I worry about that. Because I see that as the more I bring my daughters into the fold. Because I watch some of the people. I had a cousin who like wouldn't. Like kind of like you were saying with your sister, like they're not on social media. If we put up a family photo, you had to like cover them up or take them out. And I'm like, oh man, I worry about that because I see some of those people. There was an account I followed where it was this like innocent like girl that was like a autistic Catholic girl, and she met her boyfriend. And she did these things, and like she had to take down her account because people were like trying to find her and make it more than a relate. So she had to like change her whole timbre of videos. And it's creating these unintended circumstances. We haven't been doing it long enough to see the effects, I think, of some of it.
Yeah. Especially as a small, like, I think kids that were born, I'm trying to think, my little sister is 10 years younger than me, so she was born in 2002. Just like the idea of celebrity for me, just someone that was born 10 years earlier, it was like Jodie Sweetin.
Yeah, exactly.
On TV, I knew nothing that was going on in her life. No. And if we did, I would be very sad at the time.
That's right.
Right? So it's like so many things where I'm like, oh, I like this person and I enjoyed this. And then it goes into the separating art from artists. And especially like comedians are hiding behind that a lot. They're like, oh, I was joking. It was a performance. But then it's like, if you're doing it on a podcast, like, like we would be talking like this even if we weren't recording.
Yes, right. There aren't 3 cameras right here.
Yeah, right. We would be chatting like this. So it's interesting and scary. Even for me, like I had a moment this week where I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this. I don't want the fame part of it. I just want to perform. I just want to write my jokes. I just want to perform. And that was because of, do you ever get this? Well, one was I was walking out of a bar and this woman grabbed my arm. She was like, hey, I know you. She's like, just from Instagram though. I was like, So I was like, you don't know me, but if you put your hand out to shake my hand instead of grab me, you could have. But now I'm leaving. I was like, it was like very jarring where I was like, I'm usually happy to have the conversation, but I was like, headed out, small bar, like
the boundaries.
odd.
Yeah.
Yes.
The boundary. I mean, well, I think that's where you having that with the adult thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Your mom's like, why are you like that? Well, I think that's the perfect moment where you need to have those boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you were treating everybody like they were a kid, then you would be inviting for, who knows what could happen.
Because the other weird part is, I'm sure with comedy you get this, where especially with the mix of social media, people think they're complimenting you, but they're saying some of the most damning stuff ever. Where I had a show, I don't even know how to say this. No, to make that without the person making the connection, but it doesn't matter. Had a show, a bunch of people were on the show. Then when people come up to you after and they do you were the funniest, the show went worse after you, or they're like not understanding that. I always tell people, I'm like, it's like a concert. Like you may have been there for the one act and the other act wasn't your style. Like there's no need to compare. Like all I would love after a show if people were like, really funny, thank you so much, bye.
Yeah. Great show, had a blast.
But they always have to be like, because people will often be like, I loved your crowd work, I loved this. And I was like, were you paying attention at all? Like, because the crowd work is like, if I'm doing crowd work, it's often involved in a bit.
Yeah.
Or where like I'll be doing a bit and I'll lean and be like, right guy, like, and then move on. It's not like I set out to ask questions.
They're not seeing the nuance. They're seeing it'd be a great compliment because everybody who's a comedian now does crowd work clips. So
and they're worried it's going to happen to them.
Yeah. So if I compliment
stuff.
her on that, it looks like I'm complimenting her on a thing that's perceived to be valuable. But when you're actually in comedy, you're like, no, we'd much rather actually write material or if we're doing crowd work, it's a flow chart that's going where we intended it to go anyways.
It was people that hadn't seen me before, and it was like, I know they meant it kindly.
Yeah.
But then they compared me to a very famous comedian and said kind of like, oh, we could have saved our money and just seen you instead. And I just was like...
Yeah, it's like you could have just said nice show and moved on.
Well, I just wanted to be like, can you imagine any other job? I often think this. I remember I met a spouse of an athlete, and their husband was getting booed mercilessly at this time. And she said, can you imagine if any other job? You say you walk in to get a coffee, and the barista stumbles a little, and everyone just goes, boo!
Yeah,
I was like, well, that barista's not making $200 million. But I also don't think that's a fair assessment. Like, because you're making enough money that people could be, because that is public knowledge, that doesn't justify any respecting another person.
Michael, we saw those spreadsheets.
Right. Yeah. Your mom sucks. Like, just like yelling at other people in the office, I think is like such a good bit to think of, like, and I've seen people do that kind of like hacky, like, oh, what if we all got treated like professional athletes? But it's like, but that happens the more and more social media is opening a door to people. Even me saying that guy commenting on my video being like, I feel like you try really hard here. I'm like, you don't see that this is work? I am I am the business. I am the like sales. I am the business. So I'm promoting myself. My videos are commercials. My clips are radio. Like, I'm just like, I have to market myself so people will pay for the product, which is a seat to see it.
That's right.
So
100%.
Doing all that and then having people compliment you, and I have to just swallow and be like, this person's saying the meanest thing they've ever said, and they don't even. They're not even
clocking it. It's like I was watching. I always pronounce the word weirdly, but Hidden Figures.
Mm-hmm. Is that weird?
I always say figures.
Oh, well, that's dangerous. You should lean more figures.
Yeah, I should. The Scranton in me comes out. But I was watching it because it was on Disney Plus.
That's the racist side of you.
I know, and I could watch it when my daughters are, because I always watch stuff that I shouldn't watch when my daughters are around. So I'm trying to watch things that I like. Mm-hmm. But the part of it, there's a thing where they're in they finally decide that they're not segregating the bathrooms, and the head woman, that's Kirsten Dunst's character, and then Octavia Spencer in the same, and she's like, I don't think of you guys differently. And she's like, I know you believe that. And walks out, it's like she just can't, like, it's that personality of like, it's just within them. And there's this really good TED Talk, I was thinking about, which I watched, called 5 Ways to Kill Your Dreams. And it's by this Brazilian woman. And she basically talks about how, believe in overnight successes if you want to kill your dreams. And that's what a lot of these things are, is like, what we're doing is this iceberg. Like people are seeing the little tip, but they're not seeing all of the work that went into getting it above water.
Right.
And
I should start showing people my home videos and be like, I've been workshopping this bit since I was 5. Yeah.
And they don't get, like, I've been talking with Naeem Ali. We just did a show together recently, and he was, it was cool to just, when we get a chance to just chat on the side, and he's like, yeah, man, people think I'm just getting up here and I'm just like doing this off the cuff. I wrote that. Like, this was hard work. And it is, there's like sometimes an underappreciation or understanding of how much goes into your little bits or your little sketches.
Right. It's because Naeem is so good at performing
that's just it.
that people think he's kidding. They're like, oh, he's giggling, so he's never heard himself say this before.
And that's the beauty of stand-up, when you can make it seem like that, like when you can make it seem so seamless and so... That's the beauty of it.
The punishment is being so good at it that people compliment you for the wrong thing.
That's right. That's it. Yeah.
That's often what it comes down to. Yeah, the insulting is, your little skits and this and that. It's like, it's just all noise because I always, whenever someone does say something that it's like enough that I need to address it, I just, I'm like, hey, does anyone come into your job and be like, hey, good job, everyone around you sucks. Like just like, I hate this, I hate that. Like, you don't do like, and especially like when people do it close to when you're in a club, and I'm like, I'm working with these people actively right now. Like, you're going to come up to me or
when you're right next to them.
And they're like, hey, can I get your Instagram? And they do it specifically to what the person next to you.
Or they don't realize that other person, they're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, you were so funny too. Yeah.
And you're just like, oh.
Or sometimes when you host at a club, I've hosted where people will come up and ask me if I do comedy.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we saw you emceeing. Do you do comedy? And I was like, do you think that's a job? The thing I just got paid $50 to do? Yeah.
Yep. And chicken fingers. Don't forget about the chicken fingers.
You're right. My bad.
No, I agree. Actually, so is there anything else? We talked about the Playtime comedy.
Oh, God, we got to say positive stuff.
Is there anything else comedy. That you want to promote, though? I mean, you have your Dying Up Here podcast.
Which Kirsten and I often take breaks because she is dying, which is another funny thing. We do get comments all the time where some guy came up to us, he's like, you guys haven't put an episode out in 8 months. And I was like, she's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah. We're like, do not listen to for her and I, between our schedules and her illness and how busy we both are, to get us together for 2 hours during the week is a
miracle.
Yeah, much like her life.
Yes, much like her.
But check out the episodes, Dying Up Here podcast, Playtime Comedies every Friday. Follow me on social so I can rip my hair out. More importantly, please come to a show. I put my website out at JamieAmaliaPappas.com.
That's right.
JamieAmaliaPappas.com.
Don't you forget it.
Oh, you better remember that.
And if you want to hear me remember to pronounce it, she's going to be at Late Night Laughs on the 22nd of November at 8:45 at Soul Joel. So you want to see both of us together.
We're going to do each other's jokes.
Yeah, we are. We're going to swap it. I'm going to call her Jay. She's going to call me Jamie. It's going to be adorable.
So cute.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun.
I'm so glad you came. This was honest. I'm just so grateful because every time I bring someone on here, I just hope that we have like an organic conversation. Like the cameras aren't here, and we totally accomplished that, and so I appreciate it. And we got to talk jokes. I never get to
so
do that,
fun. I mean, as soon as the camera's off, I'm done talking to you.
Yeah, I've already stopped talking to you.
I'm not going to the show, actually.
I'm done. Don't follow her. No.
Unfollow.
Unfollow. Like and subscribe, though, please. And we'll see you next week.